Okay, we are live. Hello, holistic heroes. So, we're going to jump right in and talk about the Advent. And I've realized that I move a lot when I do this, so I'm going to stare straight ahead. So, we're going to talk about the Advent calendar in the form of self care. And we're going to talk about it with the symbolism from the childhood Advent calendar. And today we have the gingerbread man. And this one is taking a little bit different turn than we normally do for our self care. So, for me personally, whenever I bake things like gingerbread men, they always represent somebody, whether we can make them look like them or not. Let's be honest, not all of us are artists when we cook and bake. Hi, Elijah. Tuning in on TikTok. Nice to see you. We're talking about gingerbread men. That's right. So, we talk about other people during the holidays, and what do they represent to you in this point in your life, this point where we're supposed to be reflecting on our blessings and what we give other people and what we receive from other people. And so a lot of that has to do with being really honest with ourselves. And so who should you have in your life? Who shouldn't you have in your life? And let's be honest, there's not one person out there who should everyone needs to cut somebody out. Everyone needs someone that needs to be yeeted off of their social circle or their family or their email list or something. All of them are for different reasons. And so when you think about the representations in your life, I want you to think about the theory that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And who is that for you? Why is it those people? Do they enrich your life? What do they take from you? Do they take anything that you are rather fond of and don't want to get rid of? What is it that these representations, these men, women, children, pets, are in your life? But with that, we're talking about gingerbread men. We think about humans and our pets, things with heartbeats. But also, what are the paradigms that need to leave your life? What are the toxic traits that you have? Whether it be judgment, whether it be overanalyzing, whether it be never asking for help. Everyone has a shadow self. Everyone has an ego. Everyone has issues that they need to deal with. No one is perfect. And if you ever meet a coach, a healer, a representative, anything like that, who says, I have no ego. In this life, I have stripped myself of ego. And however they did that, they didn't. Everyone still has ego. Everyone still has a shadow self that they need to work on. On TikTok, there was a person who had said, dealing with your shadow self is the equivalent of cleaning out your fridge. And I love that. And if I ever see her post again, I will be sure to share it. Because it was very insightful. It's something that you do on a regular basis, but you also fill your fridge with new things. So what are you taking away and what are you adding this holiday season to enrich your life, to make your life better? And to be very clear, this is not what I was going to talk about today with the gingerbread man. I planned an entire discussion yesterday about the gingerbread man, but as you know, I go with my psychic pings and my intuition. And so this is all freestyle intuition. It was going to be about honoring your inner god and goddess, but that is not today. Apparently that will be a different day. So I want to ask you all some questions to prompt what you need to do. Who is your favorite person in your life? What is your favorite trait that you have? How are you enriching other people's lives? And how do other people enrich yours? So that's one. And then here's the other part of that. Where are you lacking? Are you lacking in self-awareness? Are you lacking in socializing? In 2023, I realized that I was lacking a social life. And this was something that was very intentional for me to grow my business the way I did and as quickly as I did. I sacrificed having a social life for several years to build my business, to be able to work 7 days a week and push it out. And I have no regrets. I love my business. I love my career. I love my success. It is fabulous. But in 2023, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make friends. I'm going to realize what socializing is. And I realized that toxic traits aren't always like awful. Sometimes they're just crappy little things. Sorry, I'm moving Facebook. The camera was sliding. So it can be things that you may not see as a negative, but are still considered a toxic trait. And I'll let you know mine that I am working on now that I have realized it. So started socializing again in 2023 because my business is at a place where I'm okay with socializing now. And it's really hard for me to turn off my business brain. It's really hard for me to sit down and not talk about not only my business, but business in general, to be able to, I can have fun. I enjoy it. I socialize and everything, but my brain is still working on business all the time. And so being able to shut that off, well, that's not like toxic and ruining my life. It's not very balanced. So it's something that I've worked on, and now I have a lot more balance, and now I have fun. And now I mindfully open up and ask questions that steer me away from business talk in social situations. So being mindful about what you need and don't need, what's enriching your life and not, is a big part of the gingerbread man for this time of year. And it's also, when we think of gingerbread in general, I get that this is a man, this is the homie, but what haven't we made out of gingerbread at this point? If you've seen that Disney freaking Village, oh, that's on the bucket list to go see that. But you can make houses, you can make gingerbread men, women, dogs, cats, dragons, anything you want, you can construct out of gingerbread. And there is an episode, I do not remember which season, of the Great British Bake Off where they do gingerbread constructions. The sky's the limit for what you can create with the things that nourish you. There are no possibilities that are out of your reach if you actually have the tools you need and the support you need. But the problem is that so many people are like, I want to do this, but they don't understand that they don't have the support they need. And sometimes that's not going to be your friends, especially if you're an entrepreneur. That's not going to be your friends. Most of your friends and family will not understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur or to have very big goals that are like unicorn shit rainbows types thing, which are most of my goals. My father, bless his heart, to this day, I have an international business. I am successful. I love my life. I love my job. I help people. To this day, he still says, you know, it'd be really nice if you realized your potential and became a receptionist, because he doesn't understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur and that I'm actually doing okay. He just sees me go, oh, my little kid. I want them to be in a safe and structured job. And I'm like, oh no, I want to work my ass off and change lives. And he loves me and he supports me. It's no shame to him, but he doesn't understand. And that's the thing. The people in your life may not be the people who are meant to support you. So you have to find that support. Sometimes you find them in different groups. So like entrepreneurs will support other entrepreneurs because we all know what everyone's going through. So if you're going through something like a chronic illness and you don't have the support you need, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're doing a craft, let's be honest, find people who have similar situations, interests, experiences, and lean on them for support. The other thing that you want to understand about support is that it's not meant to fix everything. It's just kind of meant to prop you up a little bit. It's meant to assist. It's not meant to fix things. So many people have this misconception about support that it's like a done for you thing, and it's not. Support is not meant, you're still doing it yourself. You are still working your ass off yourself, and you need to remember that. You need to embrace that. You need to realize that. I really do not like the way the camera is angled on Facebook, but I don't know how to fix it. Because it stood up. I am not good with technology, and I keep whacking the table today, so that's a thing. Sorry, tangent number 1 of the day. We made it over halfway through this live before my first tangent. I'm very proud of that. So what are you doing to enrich your life? What are you doing to enrich the lives of others? How is this changing or affecting you? What toxic traits do you need to work on? And remember that they aren't always obvious. They aren't always like horrible and bad. People like to make things black and white, and they like to put things in extremes. The vast majority of the time, stuff that needs to go is stuff that you may not even realize is a negative. I no longer wear a watch. For those of you who have followed me for a long time, I wore a smartwatch all the time, and my smartwatch was attached to all of my devices that all of my businesses run on and all of my personal life is run on. And I would get over 100 dingles on my watch all the time. And I took it off for that week that I took off last week to recover from my chronic illnesses. And then I put it on and it started dingling, and I started to feel like stress, and that I had to answer these right away. And I was like, "Ooh, I was unaware that this thing that was completely innocuous and helpful, and it was a tool to make me more effective, was causing me stress until I took it out, and then I put it back on. And I'm like, ah. So I have not put my watch on since. I probably won't until I'm doing like readings and I have to have like the timer on my hand. But other than that, I took it out because even though it made me more effective, it did not enrich my life. And this part of self-care is what is actually enriching your life, what is making your life better that you can add. And also you can subtract things to make your life better. This is all just about making your life easier so that you can have the best life possible, so that you can manifest what you deserve. When you are hindering yourself through these innocuous and sometimes very obvious toxic traits, paradigms, people, habits, you are limiting your manifesting. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that part of manifesting, that it's something that it's like you're hindering yourself. It's always, oh, I didn't do the crystal grid, or maybe my affirmations are off, or no, it's you. It's you. You wore the watch, you got stressed. Now here we are. So be aware of those things that are pulling you out of your authentic self, that are pulling you out of your highest and best, because they may be as weird and hidden and helpful as a watch. It could be something that you are not being mindful when you're actually doing your self-care, that you're like, okay, I'm doing self-care, but I'm going to think about the 50 million other things that I have to do during this holiday season. That's not true self-care either. So whatever you're adding or taking away, make sure that it is enriching your life to do so. Go forth, be the hero of your own story. If you are having trouble during this holiday season, schedule a session and we will get you in to work on your self-care routine and figure out exactly what you need to do to feel your best during this very stressful holiday season. Tune in tomorrow. We will do another Advent thing. And again, I did not look at what the next ornament is. I am so in the present moment of like this, and then I go and look before bed, which is going to be the next ornament. But so it's going to be a surprise every single day. Go forth, be the hero of your own story. And now I'm going to go through and turn all of these off.